What's good, y'all? It's 93 Zay, and we back at it like a crack addict. And hold on, what you say, fanboy? Oh, I know you ain't talking to me. Come here.
Finish him.
My bad, y'all. I had to dust the fanboy off. You know how it goes sometime, but I got a good one for you today because the fanboys are back screaming again. And I know you sitting there like, why, Zay? Why they screaming? Because Michael Porter Jr. told them the truth. He told them, I don't know what it is, but every time I played the Lakers, I put on my open-toe sandals and I started barbecuing their ass. He said the Lakers didn't really have a matchup for me, and I love sending their king to the shadow realm, and the fanboys started running. You know they was running to that comment section. They couldn't wait to call him a bum. They couldn't wait to talk about his sexuality. They couldn't wait to say, hey, I hope you have 4 baby mamas in Brooklyn. Fanboys were upset. Look at this, you even had a fanboy giving LeBron a pep talk like, LeBron, it's time. Hey man, this is crazy. There should be a special place in prison for these type of fanboys. These type of fanboys don't need to be mingling in society with the rest of us. And this reminds me of that time I was in LA and I asked a fanboy, I said, fanboy, are y'all finna come back down 3-1 against the Timberwolves? And all he said was,
that's gonna be a beautiful sunrise.
But let's go ahead and get into the clip, man. Let's see what Michael Porter had to say that sent fanboys over the edge. Let's get it.
I used to love those series against the Lakers. They were very exciting. And, you know, the Lakers fan base is crazy.
Nuts.
They always thought they could beat us, but they never did. I always had good series against the Lakers. I don't know what it was, but I always cooked the Lakers. I just think they didn't really have a matchup for me that was trying to come off of screens. But those series against Bron were dope. He's the epitome of greatness in sports, and to be able to, like, go into L.A., so we swept the Lakers one year. The other year, we beat them like 4-1 or 4-2, I think. It was a good feeling. And when you have so much respect for somebody like I do for LeBron, and to be able to go head-to-head and come out on top, it was lit. I'm not even gonna lie.
Now that you heard it, did he say anything that would cause these fanboys to turn into Rampage Jackson? He even threw in a little bit of glaze from Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme was like, yeah, you know, throw a little glaze on it. And he threw a little bit of glaze on it. And look how the fanboys act, even though he done gave him a little bit of hot tour. But guess what though? He ain't lied one bit. Michael Porter Jr. was putting a plunger inside the Lakers. If we being for real, Michael Porter was doing whatever he wanted to the Lakers. In the 2024 playoffs, he was averaging 22, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now that 1 assist ain't impressive, but you know, we already know when Michael Porter get that ball, you better get that rebound to get back on defense. But fanboys, do you remember Game 5? Let me refresh your memory. Yeah, when Jamal Murray put your mans on the post. I know y'all been trying so hard to forget about them games against the Nuggets. The Nuggets at one point, before you got Luka Doncic, was 13-1 against the Lakers. The Nuggets owned the Lakers. They was calling themselves the Lakers daddy. The Nuggets might as well just waited outside the locker room like,
Come to daddy.
Not only did you have no answer for Jokic and Jamal Murray, you had absolutely no answer for Michael Porter Jr. Y'all let him shoot a career high across the board. He shot 55% from the floor and 49% from the three-point line. He turned Rui Hachimura into Rui Hibachimura. Tareem Prince turned into Ruth Chris while he was guarding Michael Porter Jr. So fanboys, let me ask you, why are you mad again? Let me know in the comment section why y'all so mad. You know it's gonna be a fanboy in the comment section like, what about 2020, bro? We beat them in 2020. And to me, that's even sadder because You gotta go back 5 years to the NBA bubble just so you can get your get back. And that's what I'm gonna need you to go play Frogger in traffic. Because you know what? There was a 35-year-old Paul Millsap on that team. Michael Porter Jr. was a rookie. It wasn't even a full season. And don't get me even started on the NBA bubble, as the Lakers were the only team allowed to practice. The Lakers are the only team that were allowed to practice while the season was suspended. There were no fans, which we already know adds to the pressure. And what does LeBron suffer at the most? Pressure. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you're 2 3-point shots away from only having 2 rings in the NBA. You are 2 3-pointers away from only having 2 rings in 23 seasons. And this leads me to one thing that Michael Porter Jr. said that was totally false. How is LaFody James the epitome of greatness? There is a long list of people that you can name as the epitome of greatness before you get to anybody named LaFody James. And now I want to ask y'all, would you want your kids to be like LeBron James? And now the fanboys are going to pinpoint what I just said and only think about the materialistic things, the notoriety and the financial advantages you would have being LeBron James. And they will come to a conclusion and say, yeah, I want my kids to be like LaFody James. But those that have matured and built their character up over time will understand that's the last person that you would want your kid to emulate. Those that have kids are telling their children to see it through. When things get hard, son, I don't want you to quit. That's the last thing on my list that I want you to do. Nothing worthwhile is easy, son. Michael Jordan could have gave up after he got cut in high school, but him not giving up and seeing things through made him an icon of Black culture and basketball culture. The real ones are out here teaching their kids about accountability. For instance, Malik Beasley has been cleared from his gambling probe. And as a person that made a video detailing the situation and assuming that he was guilty based off what I seen, once it came out that he's been cleared, I gotta take accountability now. I gotta apologize. And that's when I made my apology post. I didn't blame Twitter or the internet and say, oh, these news publications posted all this evidence to make us conclude he was guilty. No, you're supposed to take all this evidence and come to a conclusion for yourself. And if you're wrong, you got to admit when you're wrong. I'm sure you wouldn't want your son going throughout life not being accountable. And I'm also sure you would want your son to have integrity. We should all want our kids to do things the right way. Because what if somebody come up to your son and say, hey, I can get you a 40-inch vertical if you take this. I can have you running a 4.3 if you take this. And you will hope that your child has enough integrity to be like, nah, I'm gonna do this. I can get myself there, and have enough confidence in himself to get himself there. And these are the kind of things that help build your respect. That's the problem with LeBron James. He has all of the power and money, but none of the respect. That is why he goes on world tours asking for respect. He sends his family and conglomerates out asking for respect because they know we don't respect it. And I hope that you really got this message. And this is the part of the video where I need y'all to beat the comment section up. Did Michael Porter Jr. tell any lies in his comments about him deep frying the Lakers? His averages from the last 2 series with the Lakers seem to support that at 19.3 points per game, 8.8 rebounds a game, and shooting nearly 50% from the floor. Let me know down in the comment section if you think I'm right about not wanting your child to be like LaFody James. Don't forget to hit me with the HBO special. Help a brother out with some likes, comment, and subscribe. It's 93 Zay, and I'm out this thing.